As for other studios and companies that are dabbling with live service games,
Yeah,
Ubisoft, the one and only.
Ubisoft.
They have their forward event coming very, very soon. Um
June
and
12th,
June
yes.
12th, they announced official times and stuff. I'll show you guys this. So it will be 7 p.m. CEST, 10 a.m. Pacific time. And I don't know, do they describe how long they expect it to be? They say at least
Uh,
45 minutes.
yeah.
So I guess we'll see.
Usually these shows are like an hour or an hour and 15 minutes. So because it's gonna be longer than 45 minutes because they also announced the Twitch drops. So for 15 minutes you get the Slumbering Icran, if I pronounce it right, Navi weapon trinket in Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. Okay, so you can already earn a cool weapon trinket. The base camp double for Riders Republic if you watch 20 minutes. Um, the Eugene Raven skin in Valhalla if you watch 30 minutes. And for 45 minutes, the Oasis Initiate of Alamut Die. Okay. In Assassin's Creed Mirage. So you can earn a cool like color, I think, for your outfit in Assassin's Creed Mirage after watching 45 minutes. But again, it's if you because otherwise you have to like watch from the start. So they still want people who like watch later to earn it.
What do you think the
Um,
odds are that these times line up with when we see each of these games? Do you think
it
15
usually
minutes
is.
in, we'll see
It usually
Frontiers? Yeah.
Um, yeah,
But then we'd
yeah. They
see.
might start with Avatar then, and then
But then do you really? I
uh,
don't think that they're going to show anything for
no,
Valhalla. So I don't know if that's
no.
the
But they
case.
are doing a lot of Assassin's Creed stuff, and I don't think they can like, because I think it's gonna be like the big Assassin's Creed show, because they
Hmm.
already announced that the Nexus game that we talked about, I think before the VR game, it has been announced. So Oculus had their event, and they announced the Meta Quest 3. So that's of course the standalone VR headset. They're launching it later this year. And the Assassin's Creed VR game was always like a partnered with Oculus thing. So that game is coming to Oculus Quest 2, the Pro Quest, so the more expensive. I think, oh, that's actually also wireless, I think, but it's like way more expensive. And also the new one, the Oculus Quest 3. And yeah, the game is coming later this year. Assassin's Creed Nexus VR is what they call it. Nexus was first a code name, so I'm curious if it's really called Nexus or if they like maybe change it. But yeah, as you see on screen if you're watching the video, is that they already have a page up.
It's a little
And
broken. The picture's just the same picture as you
oh
flick through.
yeah, yeah.
But
They might change that when it's announced because again they will talk about it on June 12th.
yeah,
But yeah, it's like what we kind of heard before is that it will have like 16 individual missions where we will like take the role of Ezio, Connor, and Cassandra, for example. And yeah, they are like short missions. I think that works fine for VR, so you can probably jump in, do a mission, get out. And yeah, they will do some older assassins or from the older games, and also some from the newer games. So I think it could be pretty fun, and yeah, we will see it in action. That's been in development for a really long time, and again, it's launching at the end of this year. So that's one of the Assassin's Creed things. But I think the more interesting one is Assassin's Creed codename Jade. They also said that they are going to talk about that with like a very cool image. And if you're like listening to the audio version, it's like, yeah, we see the main character who you can actually create for the first time. So you can create your own assassin, and it's like standing next to a lot of like Chinese soldiers because, of course, the game is set in ancient China. And I think they're gonna like do a very cool cinematic trailer, and then the game will be a mobile game. We already know that.
yeah.
And from the leaked alpha that happened earlier this year, it looks a lot like Odyssey, but in China.
Yeah.
And I think for a mobile game, that's actually pretty impressive. And
Honestly, if what we
yeah,
saw in that leak is
yeah.
in fact what the game looks like running on, say, an iPhone,
I
oh my
mean,
God, it's
it was because
damn
people were
impressive.
playing it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like very good for a mobile
yeah,
game. Blew me
yeah,
away.
yeah. Agree. You can like look up leaked footage online if you're curious. Like a lot of people posted videos that never got taken down, which I think is interesting.
I think because
But
Ubisoft
yeah,
realized this is like kind of a flex. If we leave it up, people will be like, yeah, that's us.
to be fair though, I think Tencent is making the game, so I think they're just licensing their IP to it.
Probably,
And,
yeah.
yeah, and of course Tencent they know the mobile market as like no other. Like NetEase is the other big Chinese corporation, of course, that's doing a lot of stuff as well. But yeah, I think it's cool that we finally see that game because it was not in Ubisoft's like lineup for before April 2023. So I was like really like kind of because of course they want to like have these mobile games cook, make sure that like see where players drop off. Like there is a lot of data that goes into these mobile games because they're free, but especially this one again, it looked like Odyssey but on mobile. This probably cost like hundreds of millions to make. Probably because it's like it seems like a huge game. So, but yeah, they give it away for free. So they want to make sure that everything is ironed out and that the monetization is in place to make money from this game. So that's why it's probably taking a pretty long time. But yeah, we will see it. I'm curious. Like maybe a weird thing to say, but from Mirage, Nexus, and this game, I'm mostly curious about this. I just want to see more. Like
Yeah. I think we know what Mirage is. Nexus,
Yeah.
there's only so much that they could do with that. I mean, they'll have the jump, like the leap of faith. They'll have all of that stuff, the standard
Yeah.
stuff you would expect. But this is a big question mark. What this game actually looks and plays like. Is it just totally broken with monetization, or is it
Yeah.
not horrible? Is it actually just an Assassin's Creed game but running mobile? Like, is it Odyssey
That would
in
be cool.
China on mobile? That could be quite compelling.
Yeah, my thing that I'm worried about, because that's what we all saw with Diablo Immortal, because it kind of reminds me of that. That was of course basically Diablo 3 on mobile phones. Like I played it for a bit. It was like super impressive, but I heard that at one point, because they of course want to give you this feeling early on, that's how all these mobile games do it, that you're like, whoa, I'm super OP and I'm leveling up. You constantly get this then what's the word for it again? The sort of
Little dopamine
yeah,
rush.
yeah, the dopamine rush.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Thanks. Yeah, and then at one point you hit like a sort of wall where it's like, okay, I gotta either grind or I can pay up to go to the next quest. And I'm kind of worried that there will be systems like that in place where your weapons will just not do any damage anymore. So then you gotta pay up or kill 10 wolves over and over
Yeah.
again or something.
Like South Park, go kill the boars in the forest for an entire summer.
Yeah.
It's going to be really interesting to watch. I think this showcase is probably the most important one that Ubisoft has ever done. And expectations are really, really high. And when I say most important, I know that's like lol, cringe, everything's always the most important. But from an investor standpoint, investors are kind of sick and tired of Ubisoft at this point. They just are not that confident in the management, in the vision. They keep delaying games, canceling games, wasting money on stuff that doesn't go anywhere. There's just time and time again, more and more roadblocks. And they have a chance at this showcase to come out and show a coherent vision for the next 5 years. And I hope they pull it off, because I would love more awesome Assassin's Creed games. I think that'd be great.
I just don't think we're there yet. I think this is still like the halfway point where they're like, we still have some games that we made with the old vision, and we have some games that we made with the new vision. Because, and this is pretty interesting. So they showed this trailer for all the games that are coming, and it included Assassin's Creed Mirage, Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora, the Crew Motorfest, which like there are some leaks about that from the beta, and seems like it's pretty much done, and a lot of people are loving it, so that's cool to hear for them. But there's no Skull and Bones. There's no mention of Skull and Bones in this trailer, in this article, in the Twitch drops. Because why give a base camp Davol for Riders Republic, this 2-year-old game, where you can also do like a pirate ship's hull or something for Skull and Bones? Is Skull and Bones going to skip Ubisoft Forward?
That would be
it might happen.
stunning. That would be stunning. Do we need to do like a bet, everybody?
Yeah.
Do we need?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me do a poll real quick. Should we have just like a bet pool of whether or not
How?
Skull and Bones skips
Yeah,
it?
that's insane, right? They might end up canceling it. They might.
I've
Just
said like at this point, it's probably cheaper to just eat whatever fees
yeah.
that they would incur from like screwing up that government subsidy that they got
You would
compared to
think so,
just
yeah.
eating this. Like it's amazing, dude. Can
But
you
and
imagine?
and they like they had like they had like their comeback a couple of times already. They had release dates, and they even said like when they delayed it from their it was supposed to come out March 9th. They even said back then that it would launch early in their financial year, but we're in that time period now. So
Do you
this
think they
game,
just shadow drop it? Do you think they just go, "Yep, it's out now," and they just throw it
I don't
out?
know, man. I would go for like get some Game Pass money, but maybe Microsoft doesn't even want
They
it.
might
Like
not want it because they have Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves, yeah.
So, and
It's
I don't
so
think PlayStation
fascinating.
wants it.
How I would always have said like Skull and Bones would be at the event, but why is it not in the post?
Yeah.
Maybe the Twitter account like tweeted something about it's so interesting, man. I hope that Jason Schreier does like an extra article on what the heck
Oh yeah,
happened.
the last report that was really good on Skull and Bones was that one from Kotaku
Yeah.
in was it 2020, I think? It's been a
Okay,
while.
so the final tweet was from January 16th. That was before they, I think, delayed the game. And if we go to, for example, Avatar, did they like tweet out the there must be like a Frontiers of Pandora. No, there's not even a Frontiers of Pandora. Because like the Assassin's Creed account has been like really teasing it. I think the crew probably as well.
Hmm.
Twitter account has been like teasing, yo, go watch Ubisoft Forward. Yeah, they have been. I really think Skull and Bones not gonna be there.
Dude,
What the heck, dude?
at that point, I mean, at this point, with them not even like announcing anything, they either cancel it or they might just shadow drop it, get it out the door, and move on. I think that's what they should do. Even if it's a broken mess, just move on.
Yeah, or just like really do what? Because I still think, and I don't think this will happen, and they should have done this way earlier. Like, if they really make a game where you can like really be a pirate and are not glued to your ship, I think they still got something there. But I think that would mean that they would have to like add another 2-3 years onto this if they can even make that possible.
Well, and the issue that they've been struggling with is that Skull and Bones, the version of Skull and Bones people are asking for, which is that it's a pirate game where you can leave the ship and everything. Ubisoft making it, just frankly, it looks just like a weird Assassin's Creed game. Like, there's no way to do that. Like, this is what their most recent gameplay looked like. It frankly just looks like an Assassin's Creed game. So at that point, I think they're wondering, well, why don't we just do kind of a sequel to Black Flag with the marketing engine of Assassin's Creed behind it?
That would be insane. Like they're really going, of course, for that Assassin's Creed push. Like that would be a Activision moment where it's like, hey, you're doing that? Maybe we can use that for Call of Duty. Yeah, go make it for like a map or something. I mean, that would be like that would blow people away if it's like Black Flag 2 and you had like co-op or something.
Yeah, they could
even though, yeah.
they could even like cancel Skull and Bones, shut down the studio in I believe it's Singapore, which would suck, but that's
No. But Singapore is like a support team for like many things, and I think it's also they are, I think, the big one in Singapore. So
in that
all the
Kotaku
developers
article,
go
though,
there.
they said that they had lost a bunch of talent to other studios in Singapore.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know if it's still like the A team that it was 5 years ago.
No, probably not.
But like even if you keep the studio open, if you just shut down Skull
They
and
will
Bones,
probably.
and then you come out swinging with like you basically just take this and kind of rebrand it a little bit, and then do Black Flag 2. People probably be like, "Hey, this looks a lot like Skull and Bones, but it's Black Flag 2. It's gonna be awesome," and I think people would go with it.
Yeah, probably. Like salvage what you can from this game and just make another pirate title. Rahul saying, "Is there a story narrative?" That was kind of the point. Like they had this idea earlier this year where it's like, from now till launch, we're gonna do a developer stream where we're gonna show the game. And they had the narrative director on, and what they were basically like, how does this game look from like if you would like sit down and play for like 30 minutes? And it was really okay. So you have this hub town, you go talk to this like very generic NPC who has like a daily mission or whatever. Okay, I heard there's a treasure at an island nearby. Okay, let's go on our ship. Oh, and then you go to this island. You can leave the ship then, but then you're like in this very contained, like very small space where you can then grab like a message in the bottle, and then you have to read another text, and it's like, oh no, the chest is not on this island, but over there. Now then you go back on the ship, you sail a bit, maybe there's like another ship that attacks you, and then you go to this other island, you get another note where it says, oh, the chest is close by, and then like it was only reading. You only had notes that would tell you what was going on. There was no cutscene, there was no one like coming at you, there was no like emotional impact or whatever. It was very generic, and that was like the narrative director. He like gave all the context. Yeah, those are the bandit faction, that this without this guy like talking about what actually was happening, and most people don't read notes, it would really be like Fetch Quest the game, which is kind of wild.
Yeah, after all this time, that's all they've got. And even these systems like you're seeing on screen if you're watching right now, where it's just a ship sailing around shooting at a fortress, this is almost entirely unchanged from the same exact task from Black Flag. Like almost a carbon copy. It's amazing that seemingly no fresh ideas have come in. So I mean, if they don't bring this to the show, that's going to be stunning. Yeah, major red
or it's
flag.
like in the pre-show, because they are doing like a 15-minute pre-show.
That would be almost funnier as if they just gave like a little 20-second clip and like coming later. Not even later this year. They're just like coming later.
Yeah, we're still working on it.
He took my